Yo, what is going on, guys? So in today's video, you guys are fortunate enough to receive another storytime video on my channel. Now, to be honest, it seems like every storytime I upload on my channel tends to do well, so why not do it again? So in today's video, this is probably one of my best storytimes yet to date. So if you thought all the previous ones were good, well, you're in luck. Okay, so this story takes place back in 6th grade. I was like 12 years old, I think. No, not even 12, like 11. Yeah, I was like 11 years old, and it was back in August. And so my city that I live in has this like art festival every year, and it's called Art Prize. People from all over the world will travel here like just to check it out. Like, we've got some exclusive shit, and it's actually like really cool too. And the festival goes on for about a month, and they limit it down to about like 10 people, or I don't really know the specifics, but I know that there's like a handful of winners that end up earning like a cash prize, and their art tends to be like really good. So anyways, my teacher in 6th grade decided that we would go on a field trip downtown to Art Prize. We're getting ready for this epic field trip, and so we're getting on the buses, and it's about like a 15-minute drive. So we get down there, and they start pairing us up into groups, making sure we don't get lost, and we work with like a buddy system with a parent chaperone. So nothing really weird happened at first. Like, it was just a normal like art viewing session, if you want to say. So we go down to the fanciest hotel in the city, and we're viewing the art set up there, and there's some pretty cool shit there, not even gonna lie. So all is normal, we're walking around, and anyways, we end up walking through the sky bridge because it's kind of chilly out at that point, like it's August. And so we walk through the sky bridge over to this other hotel, and we're walking around looking at their stuff. And not to sound stereotypical, but there's this pedophilic, if that's even a word, looking ass guy wearing a University of Michigan sweatshirt. And yes, that's relevant to the story. It plays a major role later on in the story. It is really important, and you'll see why coming up later. And he's kind of eyeing us, which is kind of creepy because we're just like 6th graders. And what made us feel safe was that we had a chaperone. So this hotel obviously had like a complimentary breakfast, like most hotels. This was not the fancy hotel where you typically pay for your breakfast. So if you want to call it a breakfast bar, for say, like they have like some things set out, and you can just go and get them like eggs and like toast, maybe nothing fancy. And so at this point, it's like not even lunch yet, but our fat asses are all hungry, so we're eyeing the food. And so this dude's still watching us, and this is where it starts to get almost kind of concerning. And so he walks up to us. I'm not gonna name any names, but he walks up to one of my classmates, and this was literally the weirdest sentence I've ever probably heard anyone say. And I've heard some pretty weird shit, because like I'm a high schooler, and like people say the dumbest stuff like you'll ever hear in your life that literally make you lose brain cells. Quote unquote, I remember to this day, he said, "There's apples in there." Now, where was he referring to? This little storage room in the back of the hotel with this like art piece. I don't even know if you can call it art. It was disturbing, but I'm gonna call it an art piece. And so it was sitting in the back of the storage room, and it was like legit trying to be hidden from the public. Like, whoever made it didn't want people to see it. So anyways, the classmate goes back there, and he runs out almost looking like he wants to put bleach in his eyes. And we're like, what the hell happened? And he's like, there's a statue of a fat, old, naked lady woman thing back in there. And so at this point, we're all like, what the hell? Like, why? Why? Why is this old man telling us to go back into a storage room where there's this really disturbing statue? And so, nowadays it's like, I really wouldn't want to see that. But obviously, being the immature little 6th grader I was, everyone else went back there too. So we went back there. We really regretted it. We ran out, eyes blinded. And so at this point, the kid who originally got told there's apples in there, he's like the kid that kind of like usually tends to get in trouble, but like he's not really that bad of a kid, honestly. I don't even necessarily remember, but from all my other classmates, I was told that he ended up like taking like a little bit of food from there. And so this guy, this like old dude, is pissed off at this classmate for taking food from the breakfast bar. And so he decides to snitch on him to the chaperone. And so, as a person who like could have easily motioned him back towards the chaperone, instead he decides to grab him by the arm and start pushing him over to the chaperone. And then he just goes and like touches him like in a way like it's not even like, oh, okay, you need to get back over there. It's like it was like a weird type of touch too. So he gets in trouble, and she's like, you know what, we're gonna leave this hotel. So we're walking down the street, And then we come across this cathedral, and there's these advertisements for all the cool artwork that they have. So we're getting ready to like walk up it. We're like walking around the sidewalks by it. Literally, this dude, I swear, he was trying to like be sneaky, but he is like so bad at it. Like, he's ass, dude. Like, literally, he was following us up the street. We all looked over. He's wearing his U of M shirt, just like the dude in the hotel, and it's so obvious that he is stalking us. And I never really like thought about the fact that I could be stalked as a little kid, but like, it's really creepy and it's really easy to happen. Now, thankfully, nothing in the end ever happened. Like, no one got kidnapped. However, looking back at it to this day, it's still really creepy just because of the fact that like we were getting stalked by this old dude, and we're just these kids who couldn't even fight back because he's big. And yeah, although it's a simple story, I thought you guys would enjoy. So if you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like on the video. If you're new, consider subscribing. It will help my channel so much. It's honestly not even funny. And I will see you guys in the next one.